I really want the listeners to hear is like, you didn't know right away what your journey was. You just kept taking intuitive steps forward and what felt right in your business based on what you were feeling, like your values, what was important to you, and how you saw that you wanted to bring things into your salon. And that's exactly what we teach in the academy. I bring all those aspects because when we look at a holistic or a clean and sustainable salon, it is so much more than clean products or recycling or just adding a good head massage or Reiki into the experience. If you're ready to create a salon business that thrives, but also aligns with your values of clean, holistic, and sustainable practices, then you're in the right place. Whether you're just getting started on your journey or you're already running a successful salon but crave more impact and clarity, this podcast is for you. I'm going to dive deep into mindset, systems, and strategies that help salon owners like you grow and scale your business while staying true to your purpose. Every week, we are going to have real conversations about the challenges, the successes of running a holistic salon. And I'll give you my insider tips. So if you're ready to transform your salon into a powerhouse of purpose, profit, and peace, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Impactful Salon Owners podcast. I'm your hostess, Jacquelyn Rodriguez, and today I have Samantha Tune on the podcast. And Samantha, we have known each other for a little over a year and a half. I feel like going on 2 years. I don't know. The time has gone by so quickly. But I am really excited to have you on the podcast today and sharing your journey. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it's amazing. And I actually think I've known you and of you and your work for a while as well, but then we only just worked together last year. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say that we started, I connected with you through
Mona.
who was it?
Yeah.
Yes, Mona. Exactly. I think from one of the retreats we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the
Um,
digital retreat. Um,
yes.
yeah, which was amazing.
Yeah. And it feels like a lifetime ago. But it has only been almost, I think, 2 years now
Yeah.
going on. So shout out to Mona, because I just talked to her not too long ago. Like, she's busy off doing her amazing things. And so we catch up every once in a while.
I love that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you like. We'll go into your journey, but who are you?
So I'm Samantha Tune, and basically I love all things well-being and inner and outer beauty. I love helping people really transform, and I'm a bit of an alchemist. Like I like taking something that's, not very like bit of a it could be a haircut, it could be a situation, but I love helping people transform through a process. And that's what I love doing. Because it's funny when someone asks you, like, who are you? Like, the labels are so limiting that it only speaks to a little bit about who I am and what I do. But I am an emotional health and a quantum coach and teacher, as well as a holistic hairstylist, um, as well as a Reiki healer, as well as a sound healer, as well as an embodiment a somatic dance facilitator. I do a little bit of everything.
And I love that because I've seen all those aspects and you said it perfectly, right? It gets stuck in a box,
Yeah,
and you and I have that in common where I don't like to be stuck in a box. I do a lot of different things, but at the core of who you are is wellness and transformation and healing, I feel like. And
yeah.
you do that in all aspects of everything that you do, which is such a beautiful process to watch.
Mm, yeah,
I love
it
it.
is.
So you mentioned you were in the industry. You have been like, tell us a little bit more about your hairstylist part of that journey.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it all started actually right here where I am right now in this little room, which was my first hair salon, which I set up from home. And basically, I set up my own business when I was 18, but I left the salon and set it up at home. And in that space, it was a lot more intimate. So people used to really open up to me. I used to build a lot of trust, and it was a safe container, but I wasn't conscious or aware of what was actually happening. I was still thought I was just doing hair. And not until years later, and then I moved to Australia. I traveled internationally. I wanted to be a celebrity hairstylist, so I started getting gigs on like fashion weeks. I'd done New York, I'd done Sydney, I'd done London. So I thought that was like my path, but then it all quickly changed when I broke up with my long-term relationship. I had a bit of a breakdown and a spiritual awakening, which then just changed my whole perspective on everything. And then it also changed how I showed up in the salon, the questions that I would ask, the conversations I started having. It became a lot more meaningful. And I started to really see that there was a powerful opportunity for us as hairdressers to make a meaningful impact on someone's life because of the amount of trust that we build. So I started implementing different practices. I did my Reiki training. Um, I just started following what felt right and getting really curious and exploring with different ways of being in the salon. I remember bringing in angel cards and letting people like doing angel card readings while people would get their hair done. And yeah, it just started to develop from there. Yeah, it was amazing.
I love that because, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to your story of thinking it's one way, right? I had that same thought of I want to go and I wanted to be a salon owner. Like I chose that path. And it looked very much like one way,
Yeah.
whether being a celebrity hairstylist or, being a salon owner. We always know what the industry tells us it should look like. And we start to follow that. And then it leads us to these beautiful awakenings. And you mentioned you went through a breakup, and that kind of set that whole path forward. What was like, was there a specific moment where you had that aha moment of like, I can really help my clients transform in a completely different aspect? Did you have a specific moment, or was it something that just gradually came to you?
Yeah, there's no specific moment. It definitely happened over just like a series of events and realizations. And I also had a best friend who was a training psychologist, and we had a lot of deep and meaningful conversations. And I really got to see how hairdressers are accidental counselors without any support, any training. And I was like, we're really missing a key part in, the system. Like people would open up to us as hairdressers, and we've got direct access to the general public. So there was not really one, there was many, and then come like me experimenting. So when I'd experiment, then I get the evidence and I get the feedback, and then I'd develop something new, or that like I'd move salon or set up my own thing, and then I'd reinvent myself. And each time I like moved location or done something new, because then like COVID happened, and then I stopped and then come back out again. Each time it was like a development of what I wanted to offer and to bring in more of a holistic experience. And that's also with the products as well. I forgot to mention, like I went vegan very early on in my journey, and that was also like a catalyst. And so I started using vegan products and was like, how can I combine like what I do and what I love and combine them together. So yeah, I mean my journey's definitely changed with being vegan, but I still continue to look for ethical products and use them because like again, I honestly believe that later down the line we could be looking at these claims of um I don't know, like toxic claims, like asbestos, what happened years ago, and just the hairdressers being exposed to bleach and all of these chemicals, like it's just not good for us, and there's not enough research or support. And I know that's the root and the what you're passionate about doing is really bringing clean, holistic salons into like the mainstream, which is why I loved the academy as well, because I learned so much. Because for me, I went more down the energetic side of
Mhm.
holistic. So from the academy, I learned a lot more about sustainability and bringing that into the space.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a big piece. And it is bringing your truth, your authenticity, and the things that are like so important to you as a human, and bringing that into your space and helping transform your client's entire journey through hair. Because, like you said, we have a very, very unique situation where our clients open up to us, they trust us, they want to be guided by us, and we have a very unique opportunity to support them so much further beyond the physical, the hair, the makeup. And I know that, like with your clients, you had such great connections with them and you were able to help them transform their lives, their products, the way that they looked at their own beauty. And I think that
Mm.
that's such a beautiful piece. And with the whole idea of toxicity in our industry, I mean, we have seen, and now there's more and more studies coming out. I think I don't remember the source. I'll look for it, but there was a study that just came out on how hairstylists are. They did a study on it, and we are at higher risk for cancer specifically because of the chemicals that were around day in and day out. And I get it.
Mm.
It's not easy because, I mean, we do chemical services, you have color, we have all of these different things, but there's so many different ways to start reducing your exposure and taking care of yourself as a hairstylist so that you can continue to do this for 10 years, 20 years, however long you want, and you don't have to just completely stop our love and our passion in the industry. um,
Yeah.
and I think it's really, really powerful for what you're doing and bringing those pieces in, because what I want to talk about is that whole mindset shift for you as a stylist and then shifting into the quantum coaching. What what made that change for you, and like where was your mind as you did that?
To be honest, so it was when COVID happened, I was then unable to do hairdressing.
Yeah.
But I was already doing hair ceremonies. So hair ceremonies were a combination between coaching, Reiki energy healing, and a hairdressing service. So people were getting the whole shebang. So that was then taken away from me, and I couldn't do in-person services. But I knew I had a lot of skills, and I wanted to be able to channel that online. And during that process, I just had a channeling come through. It wasn't like a session, it just happened. And I got out my book and I started channeling and writing down all these diagrams. And, this isn't me. So I knew it was a channel, like it was a code and information coming through. And that's where I was gifted quantum coaching. I'd been receiving coaching and doing quantum work, and it just all came together through my guides, my source. And then I explored that with a friend. So I'd done an 8-week program. And basically, it just made sense to me. Like, if we're trying to figure out things from our rational mind, from the thinking mind. Surely we can drop into the subconscious mind and tap into the quantum field where everything already exists and everything is. Um, so yeah, it was beautiful to do that and just take it on a journey and get evidence. And then I started exploring that more. And then the hair opened back up again. I went back into the hair. So then the quantum was just something I'd done in the background. And then again, coming back to the UK, I relocated from Australia and set up a business here. And that's obviously where we started working together. And through that process, through the academy, again, it because it's holistic, like I came to you wanting help with my business and to be more holistic and support with that, but then it actually transformed my whole life and gave me so much insight on lots of different areas in my life that wasn't aligning. So through that process afterwards, I ended up letting go of the one-to-one sessions because I was using a lot of energy. And my mission is to make a bigger impact, like a global impact. And so the best way for me to do that is online and to teach what I have learned and to empower people with skills and tools. And so to really step into that. So then now I actually teach coaches how to do quantum coaching as part of a program that I work with. And I take people on transformative journeys. And I love this because I'm not just limited to hairdressers. I used to want to teach hairdressers this stuff, which I still do. But I'm able to hold space for my clients in that way as well. So yeah, I just love it. It's so elevating and expanding. So I love
Yeah,
giving people that opportunity to really find them tools within themselves as well and then share that with the world.
exactly. And that's what I love about what you do is it can look so many different ways. So for anyone listening, thinking about how would this elevate what you're already doing? How do you bring this type of transition into your practice, whether you are in a salon, whether you're coaching, whether you're an educator for and teaching color, or you are a you're in a salon and you're a leader. Like there's so many different ways that this plays such a big role because it is tapping into something so much bigger than what we can see right in front of us.
Mm, definitely. And I know on the academy there was a section where we had to do this the mind matrix, the mind map and like the decoding and then there was a process where we had to record ourselves and then you wove in like energy healing and all of that. This was all available in a program for hairdressers. And so it just yeah, it just really spoke to me like the quantumness of everything and the the bigness of everything is you don't have to be put in a box and you don't just have to do one thing and one area of your life is always connected to another area of your life as well. And how you show up in one is again it manifests in another.
Yes. Yeah. I'm always saying, like, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself of that as I go through, you know, being a coach and as I go through being a leader and a leader for my salon and a hairstylist. How I do each and everything is how I show up for
Mm,
each person. And that is such an important part. And, with my students in the academy, it's not just about your business. Business is super important. And it's how everything else connects in your life. Because
mm,
if you're not enjoying life, if you're not able to provide what you want in life and have those experiences and live a expansive life outside of the salon or the business, what are we actually doing this all for? So it has to tie back in, right? And I love how you brought up the mind matrix and everything, because I don't think people realize with the academy, yes, I'm teaching how to bring in low toxic, no toxic products, and how to recycle and upcycle and all of the sustainability. All of it that is in there. And you get the entire systems of how I've put things into place. But the number one thing I teach is the mindset,
Mm.
is really looking deeper into what it is you want and the subconscious thoughts that are holding you back. And I remember a few times through your journey in the academy of you were hitting some walls and things were
A lot.
breaking down around you. Right?
Yeah.
And that, tell us a little bit about that, because I think a lot of people don't realize, like, sometimes when things aren't for you or you're continuously hitting a wall, you feel like you want to power through that, but sometimes it's showing you what is possible. So, do you mind sharing a little bit of one of those maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at first, when I joined the academy, I was really struggling, like to get clients and I just wasn't in alignment. But with that, and I didn't actually even know how I was going to pay for it. I just said yes, didn't I? I was like,
Yes.
can I split it? Like, is there, it will come, like, and it aligned. It aligned because it was meant to. And then within the first like month of me actually, signing up for it, like I had the best month that I'd had in my business for like 2 years so far. So like that was amazing how that happened. But then yeah, through the process there was I'd say things and you would then reflect back to me how that was a limiting belief. Like what I was saying. Like I was so in the story of the reality that I couldn't see it. And I was even resistant to continue to go back and to do what you told me to do until we were having our mentorship calls. And I was like, okay, I've created every excuse not to do this. So
As
I'm
we
gonna do
do.
this. Yeah. And it was powerful. It was beautiful. And I got a lot from it. And I remember even looking back on the goal setting and like some stuff like what was like even me relationship. I wasn't in a relationship when I first started the program, but then throughout the program I've met the man in my dreams. Now it's completely not connected, but it is connected because I was in more alignment. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just helps you really like reprogram and give you something to see beyond your own limitations, which is why I've also just been I'm full in now. I'm full in at helping people go through the process and um with my own emotional health tools and everything else that I've learned along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is the biggest thing, is you didn't know how it was going to work, but when you trust the process, and we get out of our own ways, and this goes for me too, like I have my own coaches. I went through this whole process because I got certified as a master neuro coach and had to go through the same things and continue to, but we can't see what's right in front of us. It's very hard to see your own limitations, so being a part of a group and having that coaching is very eye opening. And once you say yes to something, it does allow the universe, God, anything around you to know what's important to you.
Mm.
And bringing clarity to that does align you with the exact type of business that you want, the relationships that you want, the lifestyle that you want. It does directly correlate um, once you start to make clear decisions and have clarity around what it is that you want. And part of that, and it's a very hard part to swallow, is sometimes things have to crumble and not feel too great in order to open up the space for you to create what it is you want.
Mm. Yeah.
And that I remember, like, I mean, for me, for you, for anyone in the academy, like when we had our sessions, like we hit those pieces of our lives where things were crumbling, but being able to come out on the other side, what has opened up for you now that you have come out on the other side and you have more clarity and you're starting to live this life that you maybe knew but maybe didn't know that you wanted to live, like how is that all starting to shift for you?
Yeah. Well, I remember saying like I just want to coach. I just want to help people, and I didn't really know. Like I had my quantum, which I knew, but like there wasn't a lot of there wasn't yeah, I didn't have a formula or a structure of anything else. So then in that space of letting go, I'd literally just let go, and I was like, I need to let go of this. I found a company called Host. And so then I started working with Host and went through their program. And then I came on board as their quantum coach, which was my expertise. But then in exchange, I then developed and learned tools and techniques around emotional health and shadow work, which has been beautiful. And then in that space, I've also said, I'm just gonna let go of hair, completely let go of hairdressing, let go of all of that. I remember messaging you saying like, I've took a step back now. And then in that space of letting go, literally January this year, I had a salon that wanted to work with me to do well-being training. We done a well-being day. I had, a hairstylist job pop up on set. I had clients reach out. So all of a sudden, all of this hair energy came back to me. But equally, like the well-being education was something I'd dreamed about for a while. But because again, it's like I was in resistance. I was trying to swim when the stream was pushing against me. So it was when I let go fully of that, then it then appeared, which is no different really to the work that I'm doing online, but it's just channeled in a different format for hairdressers because hairdressers, we need that space. Like we don't get that training, we don't get that support. You're taking on everyone else's energy. It's so important that we create well-being in the salon and like emotional well-being for us as hairstylists, as space holders. So it was so gorgeous to actually like hold that.
I love that. So you trust it after you had clarity, you trusted the process and you just let go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden things were coming to you. And anyone listening, like raise your hands if that would feel amazing to just have things automatically find you, opportunities, doors opening, new jobs, new clients coming and finding you instead of what we're taught, which is hustle, get out there, do all of these things, market, you know, have such a crazy schedule and do, right?
Mm.
When you trust and you release and then they just come to you, what an amazing different energy that is. Because in my experience, like those people that are coming to you and those opportunities are so much more aligned and exactly what you want, or maybe even better than you could have imagined because you couldn't see that at the time. And that's just such an important part to remember is when you do trust and you let go, the things that can actually come to you are so much better than you could have dreamt of because we
Mm.
can't see that far into what we're already limited to see.
Yeah. And we create so much resistance energetically that just pushes it away.
Yes. Yes. And so tell us a little bit about the quantum coaching and emotional health and the salon owners or hairstylists that are listening, like, what are a few things they can do maybe to see, like, to recognize if they are holding on to things that aren't serving them, that is holding them back, and they're not living into their full quantum potential?
Yeah. Well, the first thing to do is recognize how you feel, like noticing what's showing up in the body, because the body is our remote control. It is always talking to us. But what happens is we get quite numb and we get used to the pain and the discomfort and the little subtle signs that the body has, and we become very stuck in the mind. So, firstly, it's just about dropping down into the body and just noticing how you feel. And even if there's a client, noticing how you feel after that client, maybe if they've just shared something quite emotional, if they've just dumped on you energetically afterwards, if you're still thinking about that client, if you feel different, if your energy feels different, then you're holding on to energy from that client. But it's also showing you something about yourself as well. You know, I always teach hairdressers is that we work in front of mirrors. So these clients are our mirrors in all of the ways. So pay attention to the patterns, pay attention to the conversations and how it triggers your emotions if you're having the conversations, because the universe is constantly responding to you and you are constantly creating your reality from your external world. And we get opportunities throughout the day, every day, to see into the shadow aspects of ourselves. And when you're able to look at things a little bit differently, inquire, really feel, like if you drop down and really feel, like giving yourself time to be still, to meditate, to raise your vibration before the day starts, to cleanse your energy afterwards, and to just let whatever emotion is there express itself. And yeah, and just and keep tuning into your intuition and them little subtle whispers. That is your higher self that is trying to guide you. But so often we've lost trust with that part of ourself and we get influenced from people and we get people's advice and we get pulled into different people's experiences. So your higher self is within your intuition. It's in your heart and it's in your gut. And if you're a woman, it's in your womb as well. So it's like really bringing your energy and focus into the subtle frequencies and the energy body and paying attention to that. And obviously, you could also explore a session as well and get taken on a journey. And when someone else guides you into your subconscious, that also helps you see the aspects that you couldn't see and get a lot more clarity on that so you can align to them higher timelines. Otherwise, you can often stay in a loop, in a pattern. So you can quantum leap by actually doing this work and going within yourself.
Yes, it is such powerful work. And not always the easiest thing to see your shadow self, but the and yeah, it's the fact of the matter is doing the shadow work, getting quiet, really tuning in is not always the easiest thing, but it is one of the most impactful, important thing you can ever do in your life, regardless whether this is for business or for personal. It just is so impactful. So, I mean, I really could just talk to you forever and ever. And
I know it's gone so quick.
I know it always does. I have such amazing people on the podcast. I'm so blessed to have such great relationships with like cool, expansive, amazing humans. So before we go a whole nother hour, tell us, because you have a program that people can tune into. You also are going to be teaching inside of the academy. So if you're inside the Holistic Salon Academy, you get to also experience Samantha's knowledge. And then outside of that, tell us where they can find you and learn more about this.
Yeah, so the best way to contact me is just through my Instagram, which is Samantha Tune. And basically, there's different options. I can take you on a one-to-one journey over 7 weeks, which I call a quantum leap program. That's just working with me on a one-to-one basis. And basically, we
Oh, your audio went out. No. Hmm.
no,
Oh, there.
yeah,
Yeah, now I can hear.
it says internet unstable. Sorry.
That's okay. No worries.
Okay.
So a
Yeah.
one-to-one experience.
Okay. Yeah, you can have a one-to-one experience, and then you can also come into the host program, which you go through a transformative process through the chakras, which is a personal transformation. We call it the Healer's Embodiment Program. And then also, if you wanted to become a coach yourself, we offer a coaches program, which is a 6-month container. And you go on a deep transformative process first of yourself before you actually entered into the education side of holding space. So there's some of the options as well. Yeah. And then obviously I work with salons in a holistic way. So I would listen to the needs of the salon, and then I would create like a training or a well-being package based on that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I love our friendship. I love your being in the academy and coming in and, continuing to educate and just shine your light because you have so much to offer. You're such a amazing human. So thank you so much for sharing all of that here on the podcast. For anyone listening, make sure that you go on, connect with Samantha, check out the programs, check out the academy, become a part of the academy because this is the type of people we attract. And I just want to say thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I also just want to mirror that back to you because you were like, I get just like the coolest people on here. And I was like, that's because everyone's a reflection of you. So yeah, thank you so much. You really are such a pioneer in this industry. Like it took me so long to find someone who had done what I had not done and could teach me because the unfortunately the industry is quite behind, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of passion and force behind you to have created what you've created, Jacquelyn. So thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart. I feel so blessed and grateful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means the world to me. And, I'm just excited because this is what lights me up. Like I could do this all day, every day. And that's the amazing thing of stepping into that energy of what I could never have imagined this a decade ago when I started my salon. Like we're going on what, 13, 14 years of the salon. I could never have imagined this, but tapping into my intuition, stepping outside of my limitations has allowed me to create something that would have never even thought about, known about, could have even imagined. And I am blessed every day to be able to do this and to be around such awesome people like yourself because there's so many innovators out there, so many
Um,
amazing humans. And the more that we surround ourselves with people like that, the more expansive our energy becomes. And for everyone listening, like that's why you got to get in with Samantha. You got to get into our networks, get in. I'm always on Instagram, so you can always message me, message Samantha, and make sure to keep tuning into the podcast so that you can be surrounded by these amazing humans as well. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Samantha. And I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Impactful Salon Owners podcast. I hope today's episode gave you valuable insight and inspiration to take your salon to the next level. Before you go, I wanted to remind you that the Holistic Salon Academy is opening up soon. So if you're ready to dive deeper into clean, holistic, and sustainable salon practices and build a truly impactful business, be sure to join the waitlist. By signing up, you'll be the first to access all of the details and exclusive content before anyone else. You definitely don't want to miss out. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed this one, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps to grow the show and reach more salon owners just like you. And lastly, come hang out with me on Instagram at Clean Beauty Biz Coach, where I'm a real life person who loves to connect with you. I'm always in my DMs answering your questions and would love to chat more over there. Thanks again for being here, and remember, every step forward is a step towards lasting change. Until next time.